Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing palettes that I think are going to be perfect for the summer season that just have like the perfect color story, the perfect vibes. I do this every year just so I can inspire you to go through your collection and find those perfect summer palettes. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bri and I'm just a crazy lover of all things beauty, and I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot on indie makeup, so if that is what you're into, then please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining this little family. I would love to have you here. But with that being said, let's get into this video. Alright, my cute little summer babes. Yes, it's hot, it's sunny, it's time for summer beach vacations, and I have the perfect palettes that will match that vibe. Now, I tried to pick different palettes than the ones that I showcased last year because I do this every year. I think I did it the year before. I don't think there's any repeats in this, but if there are, that means they're just that good and they needed to be showcased again. Now, I think there's a few palettes that might not be like available anymore. I think maybe there's only one that's limited edition, but you know what? It's just a reminder to all of you who have that palette to pull it out and just, you know, go through your collection. I'm sure you have some amazing summer palettes and you don't necessarily need to buy any new palettes, even though there's a lot of good ones being released, but maybe this will help you from going and buying ones and help you go and shop your own stash. But I'm just gonna show you, I think 15. There's only one palette that I'm gonna showcase that I haven't actually used yet, but I'm pretty familiar with the brand's formula, but I just had to include it in this video because of the color story. Now, this is my preference when it comes to summer makeup. Most of these palettes are colorful because I like being just super colorful, especially during the summertime. Now, some of the palettes do have some like neutrals mixed in, some are a little bit more muted, but overall, these are mostly colorful palettes, just so you know. In case you're a neutral lover, you might not think these palettes are summer friendly, but this is just based on what I like when it comes to makeup. So let's just get into the palette. So the first one I have here is the one I think is the only one that's limited edition, but I had to mention it because it's so fun and bright. This is the Adept Cosmetics House of Elle palette. They came back with this like a couple times, but I think it's completely gone from their website. But look at this. It is so bright and fun and zesty. There's a lot of orange to this with a few pops of green. So if you're an orange lover, you would appreciate this one. It gives me like, just like all the citrusy vibes. I think of fruit and summer and the heat when I look at this. And I did actually use it, I think last summer when I was in Vegas. It was hot and it was just the perfect little palette to create the most fun, like orangey, like green looks. It's a really gorgeous palette. I love Adept Cosmetics. The formula is gorgeous in here. So all of you that picked up this palette, it's your time to let this thing shine and have its moment and create some fun summer looks. The next couple palettes are ones that released this year, and I probably even mentioned in the video when I was doing a review that these were going to be perfect for the summertime. But I have the Planet Spirit palette from BRIANACHANG. This is a collab with Batty Bean, and this is the ultimate summer palette, and it's nice and condensed, not too many shades. It's the perfect palette to like travel with, but the packaging, adorable. But the color story is so fun. It's so bright. Now, this is all color. You don't really have any neutrals to work with, but you have these bright pinks and orange and greens, and you have a little bit of like purple in there, a little bit of like a reddy shade. But the formula, absolutely stunning. The shades are pigmented. I believe this is still available. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But if you got your hands on this, you're gonna like be able to create the best, bright, fun, summery looks with this palette, and it's so high quality. Batty Bean did an amazing job with this palette, and I knew right when I saw it, I was like, this is something I'm going to use all summer long because of the color story, and just it makes me happy. And in the summertime, I think I'm my happiest because I love the sun, I love being outdoors, I love going to the beach, swimming. Like, this is my season. I do appreciate like the fall and the winter and those cozy vibes, but I think I thrive the best in the summertime. Now, the other palette is also from Udin's Eye. This is the Sea Talk palette. This was a collab with Lauren May Beauty. This is also really gorgeous, and this is probably better for like neutral lovers because it's a little bit more toned down with a little bit of a neon pop. But come on, ocean, just the water, like That's what it makes me think of. But it has this beautiful like neon-y yellow pop. Makes a gorgeous inner corner highlight, but you can do like more nudie looks with this. If you want to stick with the browns, then you can go more oceany with the blues, mix them all together, use this electric kelp shade for a pop. I mean, it's such a beautiful palette, and this one I'm not sure if it's available anymore either. But I know a lot of you love Oud and Zai and probably have picked up this palette, so I'm sure a lot of you probably have this in your collection, and I think this is going to be just a more user-friendly palette for people that are more nudie lovers that don't like a lot of extreme color, and it would still be fun and exciting enough for even color lovers with these little fun pops like this beautiful teal shimmer, the electric kelp shade, the pinks, you got some blues. So I think this is a well-balanced little mini palette, also super travel friendly. This will be great to throw in your suitcase if you're going on vacation. And I mean, the packaging, that's a vibe alone. Oh, it makes me want to be at the beach right now. Then the other palette I have is from Menagerie Cosmetics. This is the Sugar High palette. I believe you can still pick this up. Now I don't know if it's out of stock because Menagerie's products go out of stock often, but they do restocks quite often as well. So this one is so fun, super colorful, super bright. Now this is overall like mid-toned. There's not really like super deep shades in this one, but this would be a perfect companion palette if you want to pair it with darker mattes from other palettes. But overall, it's bright, it's fresh, it's colorful, it's fun. You can do even more like pastel-y looks, or you can just go like with all this color, and the metallics are beautiful, buttery, creamy. The mattes are beautiful, easy to work with. Like I get summer vibes, I get cotton candy vibes. It's just fun and happy, and I'm just happy right now, okay? I thrive, like I said, during this season. So this one is a really beautiful one for my color lovers. And then I have this palette right here that I think is a good in-between for color lovers and nudie lovers as well. This is the Serenity palette from Cosmic Brushes. Now they're doing the damn thing with their palettes. They're affordable but very high quality. Their newest one that they just came out with, I picked that one up. I haven't gotten it in the mail yet. That one is like perfect for the summertime too. I'll show you guys a picture of it. Yeah, that's a great go-to summer palette. Like look at that cover story. But anyways, the Serenity palette is perfect in between. We got nudie shades, we got some muted shades, but we also have fun, colorful pops in here. Quality is excellent. Like this literally broke the internet when it came out. When it first like launched, it went out of stock like so many times. And I think it's in stock now because they keep restocking it. But quality is superb for such a like affordable price. You have these beautiful colors, tones. You got some pastels in here. You got darker shades if you need more smoky vibes, or if you have like a darker skin tone, this will work. It will work on lighter skin tones. It's a very versatile palette. I've traveled with this. If I want something a little bit more nudie, I can do that. If I want something a little bit more murky, something pastel, something bright, like I can create so many different looks with this. This is like an all-in-one palette. Perfect palette to travel if you want a lot of options while you're out on the road. I mean, this is a great one. And then going on to this palette right here. I mean, it's in the name, so it's meant for the summer. It's the Cool Summer palette from ItsBel Cosmetics, a brand that I adore. They're relatively affordable, and they make high quality products. So this is fun. It's a little bit more bluey teal, you know, ocean, sea theme, but there is some like pinky tones. You know, you got some flamingo shades here. You have a little bit of like pinky purples, this beautiful like blue down here. You have some dual chromes in here, some lighter shades, warm, cool tones. Like this one is also very versatile. Now this is all color, like there is no nudie shades in here, but I get cool summer. Like that's totally what this palette is about. Like they picked the perfect name for this. I absolutely adore this. I've used it so many times. The metallics are just out of this world in here. The mattes are great. Now overall, it's not the darkest palette. Like it's more mid-tone. These are a little deeper, so you may need to pull in some deeper shades if you want more depth. But if you're going for that light, fresh look, you're gonna get really good looks with this. So beautiful. And then going on to this one from Beaute Bar Cosmetics. This is a really pretty one. This is the Celestial Garden palette. They collab with M. Jones. I'm not sure if this is no longer available, but I'll link everything below. If it says not available next to it, it's because you can't get it anymore. But if there's a link there, it means it's available still. But this one is a fun one. It's really bright. We got some neon-y shades in here, but we do have a little bit of depth. You have these beautiful shimmers. We have some shifty shades, like this Queen of the Night one is such a beautiful inner corner highlight. It's a shifty iridescent shade. And then you have cake liners, which is such a cool addition to have that in the palette. If you're like really into doing like liner details, then this is a perfect palette because you got your mattes, you got your metallics, and then you got your cake liners all in one. So I think this is also really cool to travel with if you just like doing fun little details in your makeup look, or if you like to just do some cake liner looks every now and then and skip the shadow, you can also do that because the formula is so good and creamy. You just put a little water in there, a little brush, and you can just go crazy with the little details. And then the metallics are beautiful. The mattes are great to work with. They're more on the buildable side, but they're so really pretty, and it just is fun. And I love the theme. It has all different like flower names, so it also matches like the summer season, and it's a really good one. I really like Beaute Bar. They're on the pricier side, but I really feel like their products are worth it. I've liked everything that I've tried from them so far. Then going on to Nomad Cosmetics, which they've been coming out with a lot of good releases lately, but this one stole my heart for sure. I think this came out last year or the year before, but this is the Monteverde Cloud Forest palette. Super tropical, all of the vibes. Like, look at that. It's so fun. It makes me think of vacation. I believe this forest, is it in Costa Rica? Which we're debating on going there. Like, we're trying to figure out where we're gonna go, and Costa Rica is one of the locations on the list. So I will have to see this forest if I go there. But look at this. Bright, kind of neon vibes. There's a lot of green, so if you're a green lover, you're gonna really enjoy this palette. But there are some other pops of colors, like you got some green, you got, I mean not green, but you got some blue, you got some pink, some orange, and you have a little bit of like some brown tones if you wanted to make something a little bit more muted, toned down, and not overly neon and bright. But this is so pretty. I love this one. I love the looks that I've been able to create. I think it has a good range overall from light to deeper shades. There's some like shifty dual chromes. I love this green right here. I love this cloud canopy one. It's just a really good staple palette, and Nomad just has really cool products. Like, then I have this one right here that's great for like my nudie lovers because it's a little bit more toned down and it has a good amount of neutrals in it, but it's really pretty. This is the Tropicolor palette from Sydney Grace. This was a collab with the Fancy Face. Now I'm not sure if this one is also not available anymore. I think it still is. I'm not totally sure, but this one was a really good one from the Fancy Face. Like, Tina did an amazing job. This has color, but it's not like scary color. Like, if you're a nudie lover, I think these colors are more approachable because they're a little bit more muted. You have some jewel tones in here. You have a good amount of nudie shades that are even like warm or more cool tone, but like these two metallics right here, you got this coconut shade is one of my favorite shades to use as an inner corner highlight. It's like a pearly white, like off-white shade. It's so pretty. Then you do have some pastels, and they're so pigmented. Sydney Grace has a really good staple formula. Like, look at those mattes. Oh my god, that's fire. Is that the trendy thing to say now when something's great is fire? I feel so weird saying that. But I mean, it's beautiful. And the metallics are really smooth. They're like traditional metallics, but they'll be great for you if you suffer from textured lids and you don't want those super overly flaky shades. Then you would probably really like the metallics from Sydney Grace. But she did an amazing job. Tina did a great job with this palette. Then the next palette is a very fun, bright palette that has all these more like citrusy colors in it. This is the Citrus Punch palette from Simply Posh Cosmetics. I did a whole review on it, and overall I really loved how fun and bright my looks came out with this. The only qualm I have with this palette is that the shimmers have started to form hard pan, but besides that, they still perform really nicely. They look beautiful on the eyes. You just have to like kind of work a little more to get the shimmers out of the pan. So if you're not a fan of palettes having hard pan in it, you might want to stay away from this. But if you don't mind working with the shimmers a little bit, then you would probably really love this because the shades look gorgeous once they go on the eyes. The shimmers are so sparkly and fun and bright. I love the monochromatic rose. The mattes are really nice in here, and every time I've created a look with this, I've really adored how they came out because they're so fun and poppy and bright, and that's what I love, especially for the summer season. So I had to mention this because the color story is just perfect. I just wanted to like mention that one thing, that there is some hard panning with the metallics, but I still wanted to include it because it's so summery. Now going on to some bigger palettes. So I wanted to mention this one from Made by Metro. This is their Head in the Clouds palette. I think this is so fun and also bright, but you have some blue tones in here. You have just so much color. Now overall, this is a color heavy palette. So if you're a nudie lover, this might not be perfect for you, but it's just soft with pops. The mattes in here are really nice. You got some pastel-y shades, some jewel tones. The metallics are on the smoother side, so if that's what you prefer when it comes to shimmers, then you'll really like the shimmers in here because they don't add any texture. They're just not that super wham bam sparkly shimmers, and that's what I like prefer. But I really enjoyed using the mattes in this palette and like pairing them with my really sparkly shimmer singles. I actually took this to Spain with me, and I was able to create like really soft pastel-y looks as well as some brighter looks with this, and I had so much fun playing with it. And I think this is a perfect palette to kind of transition from like the spring into the summertime. And when I look at this, I just imagine myself like laying in a field in the summertime, the clouds and the sky is blue, and I'm just laying there watching the clouds go by, feeling like the warm summer breeze. Like that's what this palette makes me think of, so I had to mention it in this video. Then the other big palette that I have is from Glamlite. This is their second Scooby-Doo release. This one is perfect if you don't want like extremely bright neon kind of shades, because the colors in here are on the muted side. I feel like the colors in here are a little bit more approachable if you're more of a nudie lover, because they're not overly bright and intense, but they're still fun. They're still colorful. I mean, color lovers are also going to really appreciate this palette. The metallics are beautiful and sparkly and smooth. It's the usual good formula from Glamlite. The mattes are easy to work with. Now overall, this is on the more mid-tone to darker side. There's not really any shades that truly can be like inner corner highlights, so you might have to pull in lighter shades if you need an inner corner, you know, pop, or you need like a brow bone highlight. But besides that, it's gorgeous. And I did a whole review on this if you want to see that video. I'll link it below, put it up in the corner. I was able to create some really fun looks with this. It's really a really groovy, happy collection, which goes right into, you know, the whole summer theme. Then the next palette I'm going to mention is one I haven't used yet, but I'm really familiar with the brand, their formula, so I'm sure it's going to be great. But the color story is so perfect that I had to mention it in the video. This is the Rick and Morty palette. Like, look at this. It's so fun. And the color story is even more fun. Like, oh, look at that. There's all these like neon-y shades. You have depth in here. You have so much color. It's like the rainbow in a palette. You have everything you would need to create fun, colorful looks, but you can also get smoky with it. You can also get like bright with it. You have inner corner highlights. You have basically everything that you need to create a bunch of colorful looks. It's so beautiful, and I'm sure it's going to be the usual good formula from Glamlite, I have no doubt. I'll definitely do a review on this and create a couple looks, so that video should be coming soon. But I just couldn't wait until like reviewing it to actually include it, because it just had to be part of a summer palette lineup because it's so fun. Then I have two palettes that are all shimmer palettes, perfect companion palettes with your mattes, your singles. And if you're like a shimmer lover and you love all shimmer palettes, then you're gonna love these. But I have the Unearthly Cosmetics All I Ever Wanted palette, full of beautiful, fun, bright colors. You have some really bright pops. You have some more darker ones, some shifty shades that would be perfect for the inner corner. But I get bright, happy summer vibes too when I look at this. Like, These poppy shades right here are so pretty. This green right here is gorgeous. They all have really beautiful shift. They're that more like flaky, foiled, super sparkly texture. So if you don't like that, stay away from this. But if you like all the sparkly vibes, then you'll really like these. They just have a little bit of shimmer fallout. You definitely want to use your finger, a wet brush, or a glitter primer with these because they're a little bit more flaky, but they're so worth the work because they're so beautiful. I really like Unearthly Cosmetics shimmer formula. So this is perfect to bring with like an all matte palette, or if you have a bunch of singles and you just need a palette that's gonna have all the shimmers you could possibly need for the season, then this is a really good one. And then the other one that I wanted to mention, which has more lighter shimmers, but it's so pretty, this is the Seahorse palette from Adept Cosmetics. This has a lot more like pastel-y bright shades, but this is perfect if you need bright pops, you need brighter shimmers for the inner corner or the inner portion of the lid to have some contrast with other mattes, then this is great. I mean, there's so many beautiful pastel-y shimmers that I also think are perfect for the summertime that go really well with like colorful mattes, darker mattes, or if you want to have like a fun colorful pop in a more nudie look, then this would be great. If you want like a greeny pop or a little light bluey pop with some browns all over the lids, you can do that with this palette. Beautiful companion palette, beautiful, more sparkly, flaky shimmer. Some are a little bit smoother, but overall they're more on that sparkly, shimmery, like flaky side. So they will give you some shimmer fallout. You do have to use like a wet brush or a glitter primer to really get these to adhere beautifully on the lids, but they look so stunning and so striking and so sparkly. I love all the sparkles and shine in those shades, but those were the 15 palettes that I wanted to mention. This might have been a little repetitive. I felt like I repeated myself several times, but I mean, this was the whole theme of the video, was summer, color, bright, fun, citrus, fruit, tropical, like vibes and vibes. Like I could swear I said vibes a million times, but I had to, okay? I had to, but that was everything that I wanted to share with you guys, and hopefully this inspired you to go through your collection or like helped remind you about some palettes that you had that you forgot about and you're like, oh yeah, I could pull that out for the summer months. Hopefully I did that for you, but I hope you guys found this video fun and enjoyable and helpful. I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below. What are your go-to summer palettes? What are your summer plans? I would love to hear from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoyed this video, you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot of stuff on indie makeup, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will have all the palettes linked, especially the ones that are still available if you want to check them out for yourself. I will also link other videos of mine you might be interested in watching, like the other summer palette videos that I did in the past if you want to see more options. I will have my makeup linked as well. I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but I'm wearing the Resurgence palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is the collab with Heather Austin. I did a whole like review video that should be up already, so I'll link it below. I'll put up in the corner if you want to see how I did this fun, bright, colorful look. And I will also have my contact and my social media platforms. So I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_Beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really, really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for being here, for being amazing. I just hope all of you are having a wonderful summer season so far. And I just hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.